What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with a little Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the Tiki Talk right here, and we've already jumped straight into it. Okay, but I think it's really funny how before the China tariff situation, everybody was like, China products are such bad quality, even though that's not true. Oh, the products from China are such bad quality. And then the China tariff happened and people were like, switch to a different country. And they were like, how is another country going to make as good of a product as China? It's like, which one is it? Because you know they're the same people. Which one is it? Is it that China had bad quality products, or that no other country is going to be able to make products as good as China? I tend to take my advice and everything from people who are in the trenches, right? Rather than people who have comments about the trenches. Samuel, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. And everybody in the live vibing. Can we do FBA without private label brand? Yes, you can. Adam, thank you so much for the follow. How to get to 3 million. Well, step one is make your first $1 in sales, bro. You got to have a product launched on Amazon. Got to stick to the fundamentals. I know that's a very innocent question, and I understand what you're asking. So this response is going to be more generalized, not at you, Adam. Too many people are focused on the 10-year goal or the 5-year goal or the 3-year goal. And I even just recorded a video about this today. Well, let's not get ahead of myself. They're like, hey, what do I need to do to make $17 million in sales on Amazon? It's like, have you made $1 in sales on Amazon? No, but how do I get to 17 million? Well, first, focus on launching a product. First, focus on adding value to the market. And first, focus on making your first sale. It reminds me of like if anyone's ever watched Shark Tank, when when the entrepreneur comes in and they're like, but this is a $19 billion industry. And then the sharks are like, but you have no sales. You have no proof of concept. Who cares how big the market or the industry is if you have 0% of it, not even 0.1%, 0% of it. And so it kind of reminds me of when people on the live, and again, that's not at the person who asked this, I'm speaking generally. When people come onto the live and they're like, how do I get to $10 million in sales? It's like, but you don't have any sales at all. Why are you focused on 10 million when you haven't made a single dollar? It's almost like going into a job that the starting position is like $12 an hour, and you come in and expecting like, hey, I'm not starting this job unless I make $100 an hour. They're like, but you haven't even started yet. You haven't even proved yourself. What do you mean you want to make $100 an hour? That makes 0 sense. No, guys, I'm not holding out on orders. The tariffs mean nothing. Find other countries to manufacture your products. Go watch my videos on my TikTok. If you guys are in the lives and not consistently, you have the same dashboard 3 weeks ago. That's actually literally impossible, brother, because, oops, I messed it up. Because it's 4/14/24 or 25. So go off. God bless you, and have a good day. I'm going to assume that you're going to leave another comment and let everybody know about your insecurities of how you don't think that you could achieve sales like that on Amazon, but I'll just wait and see. Do you have a warehouse? There's no need to have a warehouse for what I do. I don't touch the products. I don't ship the products. I think it's funny when I see arbitrage and wholesale sellers flex their warehouse. This is my 5,000 square foot warehouse. Guess what? I do more revenue than you, and I don't have a warehouse. Not just revenue, profit too. Baguette, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. No, this account is 4 years old, brother. But guys, a lot of the questions that we get, I answer in videos. If you guys are not watching the videos on my page, then you're missing out on so much insight. I've made 3 videos in the last 2 weeks on how to navigate the tariffs, on exactly step-by-step how to find manufacturers. Literally today, and this is The TikTok algorithm is a little weird. This is my least viewed video that I've ever had on TikTok. And it's answering the question that I've gotten 7 times in this live already. You guys are like, how do I navigate the tariffs? Go watch my video that I posted today. Literally, that's the answer. Where can I see the vids on my TikTok page? My only campaigns I'm running are broad match. My exact match is costing way more for some keywords. Exact is going to cost more historically for ads because you're bidding on exactly the keyword that you want to bid on. What are some good beginner products? Nobody's just going to give you a free product, Mason. Do product research. If the expectation is that somebody on the internet on a TikTok live is going to give you the product that's going to elevate you to the next level, that mindset is not, that's kind of like looking for the easy way out. Do product research, bro. What tools do you use for sourcing? For sourcing, I don't necessarily use tools for sourcing. Just websites to find manufacturers, Alibaba, ChatGPT, Import Yeti. How is that product doing? It's good. I'm going to be making an update about it soon. We just made some updates to our listing and everything to optimize our conversion. Are you shipping to Prep Center or 3PL? Neither. I'm shipping directly to Amazon's fulfillment centers. Did you start 4 years ago or is it a different account? It's a different account. I started 6 years ago. Zero, thank you so much for the follow. Are you doing private label and your manufacturer sent to FBA? Yes, that is correct, DC. Brother, how are you? I just got my first sale yesterday. I went to so many stores, Costco, Ross. Nice, Harry. That's a different business model than I do, but congratulations on your first sale, brother. Absolutely amazing. Walmart, etc. I'm struggling to find profitable products. That's a completely different business model that I do, brother. I create my own brand, so I'm not in stores searching and scanning for products. Are you only answering private label questions? I mean, private label is my lane. I can answer other questions generally about arbitrage and wholesale, but I really don't like talking about those business models because I don't think that they're great business models. This is maybe an extreme perspective, but I almost think that like a lot of people who bought into the idea of wholesale and arbitrage were tricked into it, which is why I don't really love it. And it's not like the people who bought into it's fault. It's just the information that's being perpetuated on the internet. And I don't really love it because it's giving people like a false sense of reality of these business models and of selling on Amazon and what actually works and all of these. If the narrative on arbitrage and wholesale was different, I wouldn't mind it as much. But the narrative is just garbage. So not a fan. Private label is the holy grail of e-com. You control your faith. I like that. I like that affiliated. I agree. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to like shove private label down anyone's throat. So like, if you believe arbitrage and wholesale is the best business model, then all power to you. God bless you. And I wish you well on your journey. But like I said, like these arbitrage and wholesale guys paint Amazon in such an inaccurate picture, or at least most of them that I've listened to, that it just really, really turns me off from that business model. It's like my Amazon goal to like let people know that those aren't actually the best business models on Amazon. By the way, that doesn't mean people aren't crushing it with it. Like, I can have my opinion about it. People are still doing good with it. It's just not what people think. Since you're successful now, what problems do you have now that money isn't a factor? Brother, just because I have money doesn't mean my problems go away. Like, the only problems that went away is that I don't stress about bills or anything like that. But even like just today, dealing with something where we have this what would you call them? Like we have a manager for a position in one of the businesses, and the dude was doing really good. And just out of nowhere, the comms, the communication was terrible. He was lagging, and I had to fire him today. And it was like I'm not blaming anyone. Everything in life is your fault. You have to take full accountability for everything that happens in your business. But it was just a pain in the butt. It was very annoying. It caused stress because a lot of the systems weren't dialed in, and you have a piece of the puzzle or a piece of the gears, right? And now one gear stops and the gears stop turning. So problems like that, like your problems never go away. And like, what's money going to do for me in that situation? Like, okay, yeah, I can hire somebody else, but I still have that issue of somebody not dealing with their obligations and stuff. Do you get a commission when people sign up? No, not sign up to Amazon. Are you selling on TikTok Shop? Yes. Patrick, thank you so much for the follow. How much you really make a month? 6 figures. Fire him today. Okay. Yes, I fired him today. Do you prep your own items or let Amazon do it? Neither. My manufacturer preps it, and then Amazon will pick, pack, and ship it to the customer, but they're not prepping the unit. As a business owner, you need to be better at firing than hiring. Yeah, I have a video that I posted not too long ago where I said a successful entrepreneur hires fast, but fires faster. It's the name of the game. There was a day, I think the day that I actually made that video where I fired like 6 people in a day on my business, but then that same day or the day after, hired another 8 people. So you got to hire fast and fire faster, especially like the non-business owners. I already know the kind of perspective. Oh, but you got to give people a chance and they got to give them time to build up and this or that. Listen, I'm not hiring people where I'm not hiring interns. I'm hiring experts. And if I hire an expert, I expect you to be an expert. So if in one, like I'm going to give you a grace period to learn the systems. But outside of learning the systems, if I see that you cannot fulfill your obligations in that position, you're gone, son. You'll be gone in a day. I could hire you today and I will fire you tomorrow if you do not lock in. Hire for attitude, not aptitude. Can't chance attitude. What do you mean by that? Who does your product listing pictures? AMZ Masterclass optimized. How do I get started? Step 1, create an Amazon seller account. Step 2, get a product research software and find a potential product to sell. Those are the first 2 steps. I'll take it a step further. If you haven't achieved those first 2 steps, there is nothing about the process that you should be focused on. Nobody's going to give you a free product, brother. Anybody who says, oh, this is a good product, you should go sell it, it's not a good product. I can guarantee you that. Do product research. Business isn't this. What do you mean by that? Action? That was random. But business isn't this thing where anybody's going to hand you success, you guys. Do you always make changes to existing products to differentiate? Yes, always add value. You can buy products from manufacturers on sites like Alibaba. Ask ChatGPT for manufacturers. And also there's a site called Import Yeti. Haha, you played wide receiver? Yeah, no, I didn't. I was a cornerback. I wasn't a very good cornerback though. I wasn't that great at football, to be honest, but that's also because I think my football career, high school football career, is the perfect example of your average being less than extraordinary, your average entrepreneur who starts a business. I remember going and telling, and I was young, guys. I was like 14 years old. But I remember telling people, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a full ride scholarship. I'm going to go into the NFL. I'm going to be a big baller. I always had weird, I had big dreams. NFL, rapper. Meanwhile, I didn't train like somebody who would get a full ride scholarship trained. I didn't put in the work. I didn't study the game. I didn't work out. Like I did nothing that was needed. I did none of the fundamentals needed to achieve the goal that I wanted, but I went around telling everybody how I was going to do it. And that's what a lot of average, less than extraordinary beginner entrepreneurs do. I'm going to be a millionaire. Luke, how do I get to $10 million in sales? Brother, you want to get to $10 million in sales, but you're not even willing to put in the work to figure it out. You're like, I'm going to make 10 million sales, but I need to guarantee that I'm going to make those 10 million sales in order for me to start. If that's the case, you ain't never starting, and you also ain't never hitting $10 million in sales. Were you an A+ student? No. My vice principal told me that I would be lucky to work at McDonald's had I kept going down the path that I was going. Definitely not something that you tell a 16-year-old kid, but he was also right. I probably would have worked just a regular 9-to-5 minimum wage job my whole entire life if I kept going down that path. So he was correct, but still not something that you tell a 16-year-old kid. Chris, just with that comment, bro, I bet you either don't sell on Amazon or don't know how to navigate the tariffs. There's not a single 6- or 7-figure seller that you can find on the internet who's talking about, I'm going to go out of business because of these tariffs. Meanwhile, user 94327 on TikTok says, tariffs hitting private label is cooked. What are you saying, bro? So yeah, like comments like that don't show intelligence. They show ignorance because, I mean, they're just straight up. I don't even have to explain that. Yes, bro. Private label is so cooked with zero logic behind it. But it's okay, brother. You shouldn't start private label. It maybe wasn't what you were destined to do. Do you think you can still have good sales if you sell the same exact product as another seller? You're not going to achieve the results that you want. No. Most likely, no. I can't guarantee a definitive answer to whether you'll be successful or not with a launch, but historically, analytically, probably not. So you already saw the 10 million bucks before you even started, LOL. Are you asking me? I already forgot what I was saying about the 10 million. I go on so many rants, y'all, that you got to catch me like 3 seconds after I'm talking about something. If you're referring to like other people's mindset, yes, some people need to see that $10 million before they even achieve it. So it's backwards. What you're doing now is way more sustainable anyways. Yes, I agree, bro. Arturo, one of the mentorship students. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for sharing the live. Well, by this time, you would have been a McDonald's franchise owner if you did that. Maybe. I kind of doubt it, but maybe at least a McDonald's manager. That'd be cool. A really cool story that I really, really, really love. If anybody knows UFC, Anderson Silva, his dream was to be a McDonald's owner. Like he worked at McDonald's and he loved it because his goal was to own his own franchise one day. And then he ended up going into MMA and became one of the best fighters ever to grace the octagon. I think that's a sick story. What categories are most of your sales in? Home and kitchen, health and household, and toys and games, baby products. Us business people work through problems. That's why we are in business. Exactly, bro. I actually love that comment. I love how you said it too. Business people work through problems. That's why they're in business. Everybody else who fears all these things and is like, oh, sky's falling. That's the reason you're not in business. Arturo, thank you for sharing the live. Also, y'all, if you guys like the videos, like the lives, you're getting value from the live and want a more in-depth guide on my exact strategies, tips, and tricks on how to sell on Amazon A through Z, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. I don't charge for the information in these lives, but you do have to sit through a few shameless plugs throughout the live. So yeah. How much was your cost for what? How's the 1 mil challenge going? Good. I made an update like last week, and I'll be making another update soon. To choose a product to sell, the rank is important. What is the best rank? No, you're not looking at rank before you do product research. I don't know what you mean by that, Iman. I'm assuming you've heard my product criteria. You've been in the lives quite a few times. If it meets the criteria, cool. If it doesn't meet the criteria, no. Joy, for obvious reasons, I don't share. I know what she's talking about, BSR, but like, how are you going to do product research for an entire category looking at a singular product's BSR? It doesn't make sense. Luke, did you use VAs to create your product content? I have a team. They're not VAs. They're graphic designers, listing copywriters. Jungle Scout or Helium 10. It's a preference thing. Whatever you want. I like Helium 10. Hey, brother. My live is not a place for you to solicit your business, but God bless you. Y'all, we're almost there. If we get to 2K likes, I will show live Amazon sales for the day. The answer to that question, action, is my girlfriend. That's the answer. Do you sell internationally? Why or why not? Yes, we sell in other markets. She's brunette. I did retail arbitrage. How do I get invoices? From an official wholesaler or distributor? You hear the arbitrage cats talking about, Target, Costco, all of these. That's technically not what Amazon requires. What's number 2 mean on my name? I think that's just you've engaged a lot. So Amazon or like TikTok ranks you or whatever. So you're ranked number 2. Good job. Distributor. What are you asking? What's there, alien? Is Amazon FBA still available in the market? What apps are best for searching valid products? Helium 10, Jungle Scout. And yes, it is still available. Do your reviews transfer over international listings or they separate based on marketplace? Both. So you can take an existing listing and essentially copy it onto another marketplace, but it's the same listing. Based on your 12-month rolling estimated daily sales, 10K. You're a pretty smart guy, affiliated. Good job with that math. Is arbitrage the way to go about tariffs? No, arbitrage is the worst business model on Amazon. Live sales for the day. Let's do it. Appreciate you guys. Let's do it. Let me pull it up. We're going to show some live Amazon sales for the day. And shameless plug, once I show it, if you guys want to see my exact strategies, how I achieve numbers like this, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio, the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education. So let's flip this around. That's a nice day. Da, 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 da. Like I said, if you guys want to learn the exact, not an inch, not a centimeter, not a nanometer off from the exact strategies that I use to achieve numbers like that, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. I know that's not available for everyone because obviously it's a paid program. That is why we do these lives. That's also why I have thousands of videos on my TikTok going over almost every single aspect about Amazon private label. So if you guys don't go look at my page every single day for Amazon FBA videos, which I post 2 to 3 videos every single day, then you're missing out on a lot of free information. Do you do private label or wholesale? Private label, my friend. My wife is gray, but she's brunette. Nice. Do you know anyone? There's services, brother, but I'm not really a fan of any of them. I know the selection criteria by heart. Thank you for that. Hey, Iman, you're a real one, for real. Let's go. That's actually pretty dope. Iman always up in the lives, always supporting, in the trenches, trying to learn the Amazon game. There's people who will sit from the sidelines, do nothing with the information, and then there's people who go and take action on the information. And I could usually tell who the ones who's who. Iman, you are an action taker. God bless. Should we avoid a product with high rank, very competitive? Not high rank, but high average reviews. Do you do product inserts? Why or why not? So I used to be really against them, OG, like really against them. In the last year or so, my thoughts have shifted. I am a fan of them as long as you stay compliant with Amazon. Why are all these kids selling me OA mentorship? Private label sounds better. Bro, this is my gripes. This is my beef with arbitrage and wholesale. It's not that they're not good products. I mean, not good business models. Like, people make money. It's the way it's portrayed on the internet. That's literally, like, there's a reason why for the last year I've made an offer. I know that all of you guys go watch other people's content, and I'm honestly sure that people have made this offer to other people. There's a reason why I tell people, you find me an arbitrage or wholesale seller to go on live with me. We'll have a nice, friendly debate, not trying to go at them or, you know what I mean? Nothing like that. It'll be friendly, civil, all that good stuff. Find me one arbitrage or wholesale seller who's willing to debate whether arbitrage or wholesale is better than private label. It's easy for them to tell people who don't know about Amazon. I would run circles around them being someone who sells on Amazon. Again, this does not mean they're not good business models. People clearly make money from them. I'm simply speaking about the way that they are portrayed. It's nonsense. I do not agree with it. And I think most arbitrage and wholesale sellers are lying and know that they're lying. Actually, even take it a step further, my gripes are more with wholesale. I think that, like, for people, if you don't have the capital to start selling Amazon private label, then arbitrage is a good option. It's less than $1,000, less than $500. You can get started there. But the people who are trying to say that wholesale is better than a private label, I'll run circles around that argument. How easy is it to make an account and launch your own product? Not an infant, a child could do it in terms of the simplicity. What's the best product for a beginner, bro? Bro, nobody's going to tell you the best product for a beginner. Do product research and find a good product. Robin, I even guarantee you that anybody, if you go look up best products to sell on Amazon, on TikTok specifically, I bet you'll find a bunch of videos on products that people say, this is a great product to sell. This is a great product to sell. Send any single one of them to me, and I'll tell you why it's not a good product to sell. Anybody who is for free, just screaming out products to the masses, saying it's a good product, it's not a good product. 9.8 times out of 10. I'm American, brother. Airstick, thank you for sharing the live. Good to see you. Fedino, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the live. Dang, my guy Airstick crushing it with the shares. Thank you, brother. Because OA requires 500. Private label is heavy investment involved. You create a brand. I wouldn't call it a heavier investment. Yeah. I wouldn't call it a heavy investment. But yeah, I agree there. Oops. I can't find any comments. Appreciate you, brother. You're a real one. Good problem to have. Hold on, I have to find. There we go. So when doing private label, does Alibaba seller do all the branding? Yeah, they'll do that according to what you tell them. They're not going to just do it on their own accord. You have to tell them every single thing that you want for the product. I do wholesale, but I would say private label is a better model. There we go. What up, Mark? Good to see you. Yamin, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. OARA to wholesale to private label. No, I disagree with. That's another thing I really disagree with. Affiliated. Because if not a capital issue, it's not a graduation. There's like arbitrage, wholesale. The only things that you're going to learn that carry over to private label is how to create an Amazon listing, how to create a shipment, how to navigate Seller Central. I can learn all three of those things in 20, 30 minutes. I don't need to start a whole nother business model to understand that, because the product research is going to be different, which is the most important. Negotiating with suppliers is going to be different because you're negotiating. It's not necessarily like the wholesale model where it's like set prices. I know you can still negotiate with wholesale, but private label, that's key for your margins. With private label, you have to run PPC ads. You have to optimize your listing. You have to understand organic rank, none of which that you would have learned in the other two business models that's going to carry over. So yeah, I don't think it's a graduation thing. 40% margins on this account after everything. I learned a lot with your lives and videos, and I'm still learning, and I will be your student one day. God willing, and God bless, Iman. I love it. Shaz, I don't do wholesale, bro, but AI is your friend, guys. I bet you, I've never done a day of wholesale in my life, right? And I am almost certain that I can find wholesalers faster than people who are a lot of people who are trying to start wholesale for the very first time. We live in the era of information, everybody. Any given question that you have, you can probably find an answer to it in 30 seconds. Crayons, markers, school supply. I would never sell crayons or markers. Maybe school supplies depending on the product, but not crayons and markers. How to find it? I'm struggling, please. How to find what? A good product. I have videos on how to do product research. I use Helium 10's black box tool or the Amazon search method, both of which I have videos on. I wanted to see 3-digit shares. Let's go, brother. I appreciate you. You are a real one. Airstick, another one of the mentorship students up in here. Abdi, thank you so much for the follow. Robin, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate both of you and everybody in the live. Like I said, I don't do wholesale, brother. Ask AI. You'll find your answer in 30 seconds. Do you think that it's overly saturated or too late to start? Yeah, man, I love answering this question in this way. If anyone who thinks Amazon is too saturated should not go ever apply for a job that others are applying for because there's competition. It's too saturated. You should not compete. You should never go start a franchise or a business because other people are going to have that type of business. There's other McDonald's franchise owners, there's other Subway franchise owners. So it's saturated. You should never go start those. Nobody should ever try to innovate on a category, kind of like the brand Scrub Daddy did, because it's too saturated. There was too many people selling that. You should teach your kids not to compete in sports because there's going to be other people who compete in the sport with them. It's too saturated. But no, you would never think like that, and you would never go and teach your kids to think like that because that's not the reality of life. If you want to do something, you learn how to do it, and you learn how to be better than the existing people who are doing it. You find a way to add value, to differentiate yourself. That goes for sports, business, everything. Nobody should go buy a house. No one should get into real estate because there's too many people buying real estate. It's very weird how and I'm not trying to come at you for the question. It's me speaking generally, but I just think it's so weird how like people will have this kind of mindset about Amazon. You want to know why people have this mindset? Because I guarantee you, every single person who's come into my live, I don't blame them, but every single person who's come into my live asking, is Amazon too saturated? I bet they've seen an ad from another creator who has another business saying, Amazon, too saturated. Airbnb, don't do this. This business model, don't do this. The only business model that works is mine. Okay, well, they should be wearing a dunce hat too while they make that video, because yes, there are some business models that people prefer. There are some business models that may be better than others. But to say that one business model doesn't work, but you have the magic solution that works, which is just ignorance. And again, that wasn't me saying it to the person who left that question. That was me speaking generally. Profit on this is 40% after everything. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's go, Airstick. Appreciate you, brother. How long ago did you start? 6 years ago. Have you used Helium-10 for Walmart as well? It's too limited info. We've played around with it, but yeah, you're right. It's not the best. They're an Amazon software, so they're going to focus on their pillar platform, Amazon. Never put an offer for a home because there are other buyers. Exactly. Life is too saturated, everybody. Do you have to market your store? You market your products. Do you train people? Yes. For those of you who wanted an in-depth guide on my exact A through Z strategies, every single thing to a T, what I would do if I knew nothing about Amazon to starting and scaling a brand, that information is in the AMZ Masterclass mentorship program in the TikTok bio, one-time payment, lifetime access, and you get direct access to the mentor, me, that you want to learn from. I don't proxy you off to coaches. I was just on a call with a student today. Every student of mine gets a one-on-one Zoom call with me. And this student had come from another program, and they were sharing with me how they spent $3,000 in total, and they never got to learn from the mentor that they bought the course from. They were proxied off to a coach. The product that they had gotten advised there wasn't a single low reviewed seller making $10,000 a month. So they're like, here's a winning product, but there wasn't a single seller making $10,000 a month for that product. When I say that the AMZ Masterclass is the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education, I mean it. How safe is retail arbitrage? No business is safe. And I'm assuming you mean safe, like safe from failing. No business is safe from failing. Not a single one. That's the beauty of business. Do you think I could make a living off day trading and having FBA as a side hustle? I think anything is possible, but I can't give you a definitive answer to that. I don't like day trading is so volatile that you could also lose all of your money day trading. So I don't know. The issue is like with saturated. I mean, when I find a product, it's so much competition. Why would someone buy mine with no reviews over someone else's? But this is the thing, Yemen. Every single year, there are kids for the first time ever who are going into a sport like basketball. And then as the years progress, these kids are going to get older, and some of those kids are going to go on to try and play in the NBA or the college level. Think about how many college athletes there are. There's so much competition. How do I be successful when these people have a name for themselves, when these people are already recruited to college, when these people are already in the NBA, but I'm not? It's the same mentality. This is business. A lot of business is mentality, you guys. If you wanted to be a professional fighter, how would you achieve it? Would you say there's too many fighters, I'm not going to go fight? Or would you be the best fighter that you can be? Would you have a unique style? Or would you develop a unique style? Would you set yourself apart from everybody else in some way or another? That is business, guys. Sure, there is a competition, but competition isn't a bad thing. It's a roadmap to what's worked. In fact, without competition, you would be guessing. You'd have no idea what does well, what doesn't do well. You would be winging it. Competition gives us a roadmap as to what works. Be better than the competition. Add value into the market. Don't click copy and paste on what the competition is already doing. Just like anything that you want to be successful in, you stick to the fundamentals and you find a way to differentiate yourself. 180 million Prime users in the US, seems like the audience is there. Not only that, affiliated, but Amazon themselves has come out and said, we don't have enough third-party sellers on our platform for the amount of customers that we have. Some people find that hard to believe, but Amazon themselves are coming out and saying that. Where's the rest? Where's the rest of what? If you want to see profit on this account, go look at my pinned video. I break it down. I mean, retail arbitrage is safe in terms of Amazon asking for invoices. What does that even mean? Safe in terms of Amazon? I don't see the correlation between the word safe and then Amazon asking for invoices. Will you go back to rapping? No. No. Rapping was never my passion. I just wanted to be rich. So, mission accomplished. I don't consider myself rich. I do well. Rich is like Jeff Bezos. You want to talk about rich, that's rich. Being an underdog, going against titans and living to tell about it. It's all about mindset. Exactly. Man, like part of me like misses those days. And this is something that all of you should realize. This is probably some of the best advice I can give. I'm not even the one who invented the advice, but enjoy the journey. You know, like I always thought it was like a silly saying, enjoy the journey, or what is it? Not the result, but the journey, whatever. I thought that was just like, hey, listen, I'm trying to get results. What are you saying? But in hindsight, looking back on it, those days sleeping on my best friend's couch in the moment, it wasn't fun. But being that underdog, being the guy that, like, it's like nowadays, if I launched an Amazon product, all of you would believe in me. But that's no fun. Back then, having people not believe, seeing those success, getting that not adrenaline, dopamine rush every time you achieve those, goals or the next marker in your business. I miss those days a little bit. Like, I'm blessed and I don't want to go back, and I'm blessed here, but like the nostalgia of those vibes was amazing. Any 14, thank you for sharing the live. What up, Alex? What is harder, understanding these questions or answering them? I like that, actually. I enjoy this. I wouldn't enjoy this, or I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy this. It drives me crazy hearing people's mindset sometimes, or reading people's mindset. So a little bit of both. Not understanding, but reading these questions drives me crazy sometimes. 99% of people are dope, and y'all are some hustlers and stuff like that. But like when I hear people saying, like, a few that really bug me, I think one of the ones that bugs me the most is the two that bug me the most are the arbitrage and wholesale ones, and the people who come in and say, bro, how do I achieve $1 million a month in profit on Amazon, but haven't lifted a finger to try to sell products on Amazon? It just blows my mind. And it kind of frustrates me, not because, like, I'm not judging people. It's more so like, if you have the keys to the castle and you have the keys, someone's like, Luke, I want to get into the castle. I'm like, here's the key. It's right here. And they're like turned around. They're like, I'm trying to find it. Where's the key? Where's the key? I'm like, dude, it's right in here. Like, just wanting people to realize that the way that they're thinking sometimes is what keeps them broke. I'm not talking to anybody in this live specifically right now. Like I said, most of the time people are hustlers, people are dope, people are just here to learn, and I love answering the questions. Yes, Airstick is right. Do not ever mention Section 8. I'll flip my lid. No, I'm just kidding. Let us listen to your mixtape. There's been a handful of people who have ever listened to it after I removed it. I did say, if I ever get 1 million likes, not 1 million views, 1 million likes. It could be on a TikTok live. It could be on a video. It could be on a post. I don't care. If I ever get 1 million likes, I'll publicly show my old music. Outside of that, it's gone. It's archived from the world. You'll never be able to find it, even if you tried. What are some products that gave you success? Just general idea, not the exact product. Home and kitchen products, health and household products, office products, toys and game products, baby products, pet supply products. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Appreciate you, Airstick. Chilling, bro, making money. Yes, sir. Sell your mixtapes on Amazon. You're funny. At work right now, trying to save to start an FBA business. My whole family is doubting me. That made me smile. Not because I want your family to doubt you or anything like that, but man, remember these moments for real. Document it. Even if you don't post it, this is what I recommend everyone. Document your journey. You don't have to be a creator. You don't have to ever post it. You don't have to show anybody. But one of my favorite things is going on my Snapchat memories. Not often. It's not like I do this every day. But once a year or something, or if I'm trying to look for a piece of content for my videos, I'll go through my Snapchat memories and I'll look at 2019 and the days that I started. I loved it. And it was almost like I made so much content because I posted everything on Snapchat back in the day, that it was like this. It was almost like a story. Like I saw videos of me on my orders page on Amazon scrolling for like 1 minute, like literally this fast, scrolling down my orders. And like the captions were like, remember when, like something like, remember when everyone, or when people said that this business wasn't going to work out, or something along those lines. And it was really one of my favorite parts. A lot of the moments that I thought were like the tough moments in business ended up becoming some of my favorite moments to look back on. So, Iman, thank you for sharing the live. How many hours a week are you working on your business? I work all the time, bro, but that's just because I enjoy doing it. And I don't work all the time on my Amazon business. That's like 4 to 6 hours a week. Majority of the time that I'm working on the bit or on other businesses, but I just enjoy working. So, okay. We standing in a room, they dream to be in it, but you hand them the key and they don't use it. I love that. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, brother. Pretty much. All righty, everybody. If you guys like the lives, like the videos, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. In fact, let me do this really quick. If you guys want access to the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education, nothing, literally nothing. Back to the drawing board, product research, SMH. Why, Arturo? I love when people come in and ask how much you need. You just need money. No, that's a valid question. I don't mind that question, to be honest. As long as you do something with the answer, right? Oh, you need 3K? Okay, sweet. Time to start saving and get it, right? Then I think it's valid. Do you have a different brand name for each product? No. So, TikTok bio, everybody. AMZ Masterclass. You'll be taken here. If you would like, you could watch that video. If not, yes, I want to apply. You guys can also see some student results right here from some of the mentorship students. And let's show you how quickly it takes to fill this out. Obviously, fill this out properly, like read everything, because it'll help us get the information we need for your call. But it literally takes 60 seconds, right? LB. I'm going to hide this part so I don't dox my phone number. And then if you guys qualify for the mentorship, you'll know right then and there, because once you click yes to this question and submit, you'll be prompted here to book a call with my team. So if you guys wanted a more in-depth guide, the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship. Hop on a call with the team. They'll be able to answer any questions that you have. I have to do a puzzle to stay on live. Oh my goodness. They'll answer any questions that you have about the program, as well as help create a unique custom plan for your unique situation. Just want you to know I'm doing dishes while I'm listening. I love that. I love that. But like I said, I hope you all have a blessed night, blessed day. Be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass, and God bless you. See you soon. This isn't official yet, but Trump says that the China tariffs will drop substantially sooner than later. And this is what I try telling people. We have to assume that the tariffs